Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for choosing this video. Today, I'm going to be taking you through some of the political party funders, private funding. Remember, with the funding of political parties, it can come from IEC, it can come from private sector or private individuals, which means not from government. So I'm going to touch on a couple of political parties. I'm not going to touch all of the political parties because we've got a lot of political parties. I'm going to touch on the ANC, who's funding the ANC, and you're going to be surprised in relation to the EFF. I'm going to touch on the EFF as well, who's funding the EFF. Also, I'm going to touch on who is funding Action SA. Then I'm going to touch on the DA, Rise MZANSI, as well as Gayton McKenzie's party and Kenny Kunene, which is Patriotic Alliance, which is also another interesting part to look at when it comes to funding. So the ANC, if you look at it, there were two main companies that actually funded it, and it's Harmony Gold Mining, as well as African Rainbow Minerals, which both of them contributed the same amount. It's 6.9 million. They came from Harmony Gold Mining, as well as the African Rainbow Minerals, each contributing 6.9 million. And then they've got other funding that came from Naspers. We know Naspers is one of the biggest companies in this country and in the entire African continent as well. At some point, I think they still own Media 24 as well. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. They funded the ANC 2 million with 2 million, and then there were small fundings that came in from Elohim Eretz. I don't know which company is that, and Vuk'uzenzele. Vuk'uzenzele contributed 510,000, and then you've got Elohim Eretz with 472,000. Those are very small amounts of money, by the way, compared to even what the IEC itself gives these political parties. So that's the ANC. But the most interesting part is that two of the companies, the biggest funders of the ANC, are also the only two funders that funded the EFF. Well, this is according to the declaration. So I'll take you through how much they contributed to the EFF. Remember, these two companies, African Rainbow Minerals, Patrice Motsepe, who I believe is still the majority shareholder there, contributed 1.3 million to the EFF. And then Harmony Gold Mining Company Limited also contributed 1.3 million to the EFF. And it seems like they're very intentional. You know, they fund with the very same amount of money, you know. And the EFF, there's only two companies that, of course, were declared here as their private funders. And that's the same companies that gave 6.9 million each to the ANC. So that's really interesting for you to look at. Let's talk about Inkatha Freedom Party. It's funded by N.F. Oppenheimer. Looks like it's an individual with 10 million. Wow. 10 million on the 2nd of May. And then on the 2nd of sorry, not on the 2nd of May, but on the 5th of July. And then you've got on the 6th of July, Jonathan Ernest Maximilian Oppenheimer, 10 million again. So it's the same amount, you know, from both Oppenheimers. So this was the story again that was being uttered in the news, not in the news, but on social media, that these Oppenheimer guys, they just divided themselves, you know, gave their grandkids money, and then, you know, they go around funding this political party. So the political game is really funny, guys, to look at. But anyway, let me continue with my work. You've got the Patriotic Alliance, which is one of the political parties that is not funded by anyone except Gayton McKenzie himself. So he declared 800,000 as a funding to this political party. Gayton McKenzie, he's listed here, and he is, of course, the president of Patriotic Alliance. And then you've got Botha and Erasmus Inc., who, of course, contributed 230,000. I don't know who's this person, but either way, man, 200,000 is nothing, really. It's really nothing. So let me then go back to give you a little bit of analysis when it comes to the DA because that's one political party that we need to look at. It is the highest funded political party, by the way. Its total funding sits at about 65 million, over 65 million, altogether. But we're gonna touch on that. So they were funded first by Main Street 1564. It's a company called Main Street 1564. On the 10th of January 2024, they gave them 10 million. And then you've got on the 11th of January, you've got GAP Infrastructure Corporation. It has contributed 100,000 to the DA. And then of course on the 26th of March, Mr. M. Marshall, who is of course somehow the same funder of the Action SA. So you will look at that. They gave them about 8 million rands. And then Africa Rainbow Mineral, the same company that funds the ANC and the EFF, also funded the DA with 2.5 million. And then you've got Liu Collection South Africa contributing about 300,000. These are small funders, basically. I'm sure they have a small stake into this thing. Mr. I Little monetary with a monetary contribution contributed about 250,000, and then you've got the last funder which contributed about 162,000 in kindness, which means it was not monetary, so they could have done some publicity for them. Voices of South Africa is the company. Foundation NPC is the company that actually funded the Democratic Alliance as well. So the total funding of the DA amounts to 359,359.39 rands. Now I know that's a bit confusing, but I'm giving you the number as it is to tell you how much it is. It is 65 million. It is just a little over 65 million. So yeah, that's how it goes. Who did I miss? Oh, I missed Action SA, right? Did I miss Action SA? Yeah, I think I missed Action SA. Okay, I'm gonna find who funded the Action SA political party. Let's look at Action SA. Okay, so here I find it. So wait, change starts now. Action SA. Where is Action SA? Okay, I can't find Action SA here. Hey. Oh, sorry. I had actually no. It's there. It's just that I made a mistake there. Let's see. And Rise MZANSI as well. Okay, let's start with Rise MZANSI. Then I'll come to Action SA, right? Let's start there. So Rise MZANSI was funded by two companies. We Are the People contributed about 15 million, and then Mr. Peter Vundla contributed about 100,000. So really that's boring. But the 15 million really came from this organization called We Are the People. So we don't know what organization is that. Maybe I'll do another video just breaking down who are these people, and then of course you will understand who are the funders behind these political parties. Yeah, so those are your funders. Let's look at Action SA before we close this video. Action SA was funded mainly by so give me a second. It's really confusing with the Action SA. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Action SA has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 funders, all of them contributing monetary funding. So you've got 3 million coming from Martin Marshall, and then you've got 500,000 coming from Moskedi, the individuals. Who are this? But if you remember Marshall, the surname Marshall, Mr. M. Marshall, is one of the funders that actually funded the DA, and I think they contributed about No, I'm mistaken. It's not the Democratic Alliance, man. They came from somewhere. I saw them as one of the funders. I think they might have came from Inkatha Freedom Party, if I'm not mistaken. I will look at Inkatha Freedom Party because no, it's not Inkatha again. I saw them somewhere, man. They funded, I swear. Okay, yes, here is it. It's the DA. It's the DA. Yes, I was correct. It's the DA. Mr. Marshall. And then when you go to Action SA, it says instead of saying Mr. M. Marshall, it says Martin Marshall. So Martin Marshall contributed about 3 million to Action SA. And then, of course, you've got Mose Cady, who contributed 500,000. And then 2 million came from Martin Marshall again. So he contributed 3 times. One, first of all, he contributed somewhere between the 31st of January and then the 14th of, no, not the 14th, but the 26th of February. And then lastly, he contributed recently on the 26th of March. That was the last time he funded the DA. So, and he contributes really big amounts. I mean, at Action SA, he contributes really big amounts because he contributed about 4 million and 3 million in January. February contributed about 2 million. The last small funders were just Mose Cady with 500,000. And then you've got Style Eyes of California Pty Ltd with 850,000. And then you've got Chris Dutoit, who contributed 175,000. 175,000 somewhere around March. On the same day, Martin Marshall actually contributed 4 million to Action SA. So yeah, Martin Marshall contributed somewhere around So I want to see how much he actually funded the DA with. Marshall. So he gave the DA 8 million rands. 8 million rands to the DA. So that's really funny. So you've got obviously conspiracies that always say that, you know, the handlers of the DA are the same handlers of the Action SA, or somehow Action SA was created as a baby to you know, the DA. Same applies to the EFF. We see the main funders who contribute about 6.9 million each. African Rainbow Minerals, as well as gold mining company there, which contributed 1.2 million, I think, to the EFF. And that's really interesting to actually find out. Yeah, African Rainbow Minerals, 6.9 million to the ANC. Harmony Gold Mining, 6.9 million to the ANC. Again, they are the biggest funders. And then you've got about, when it goes to the EFF, the same two companies, Economic Freedom Fighters, they contributed about 1.3 million rather, each to the EFF. So that is really interesting to find out, if of course you're interested in finding out about these things. So if you're going out to vote on Wednesday, well, guys, good luck, really good luck. That's all I can say. Sounds like a bad way though. Cheers. My name is Elvis Wilifimov, and this is one of the segments that I make on this channel. However, I'm working on my podcast, Break It Down with Elvis Mulifimov, and I'll also be exhibiting at the South Africa SA. So it's SA Podcast and Music Festival, where you will look at individuals such as John Savage, who's the founder and the creator of M Studios in Newtown, a very creative hub for the creatives that supports you know, podcasters, content creators, musicians, everything. And I shoot my podcast there as well. DJ Spoo will be there as well. I believe he's the main organizer, if not the main stakeholder of this event. You've got Penwell the Black Pen, which I hope to interview him as well during this session. And then you've got Usuela, so Usuela of the Conversation Capital. She'll also be there. Who else? Look, man, a couple of Gareth Cliff will be there as well. So a couple of individuals will be there. So if you want to find out about this event, I'll link the link in this video in the description, and then you can go find out how you can get the ticket. You can buy one get one free ticket. That's what you need to know right now. So go there. You know, I'd love to meet some of you there as well. I know we don't have a large audience here, but I'll be more than happy to actually find out who is interested in meeting Break It Down podcast at the SA Podcast and Music Festival. It's going to be really interesting. It's happening on the 14th and 15th of June next month, just after the elections. So we're going to talk more about, who is in power now? What are they going to do? And then we refer back to the funding, right? So when you see me there, I'll be on my stand. Let's have some chat. Let's have some chat. Ladies and gentlemen, please hit the subscribe button